Hello ulit mga Casio Nation, and this is again Engineer Jaydee, and today so last video diniscuss natin yung mga basic calculation features nitong Casio fx-991MS model. So today we will teach you how to solve equations and systems of linear equations using the same model. So tara, start na tayo. Will now is illustrate yung feature na para ma-solve natin yung equations and systems of linear equations natin. So first for the equations, so equations muna tayo. For solving equations, we will use yung shift solve utility natin. So we have the buttons. We have two buttons that you need to remember. So shift and yung calc na for you. So this right here. So these are the two buttons that you need to remember: the shift and the solve. Ayan. So ayan. Now, although the 991ES model, and the 991ES model and the class width, so has this feature, so there are slight difference, when it comes to the 991MS na model natin. So let's illustrate it with an example. So I'll put a random equation right here. So 1 over x squared plus 1 plus 1 over x squared plus 2. For example, gusto kong ma-solve itong equation na to, So itong equation na to. So how do we solve this using this 991MS? So let's input again, So 1 over, so I'm sure from the previous video, na-practice nyo na to, na-experiment nyo na yung mga keypads natin, and you have mastered yung paglalagay ng grouping symbols, pag-master sa calculation priority sequence. So let's input now. So square root of x plus 1 over square root of x squared plus 1 plus 1 over square root of x squared plus 2 equals 3. So again, let's press the left and right keys to be sure. And then you have this. Okay, tama naman. So let's press shift again, the shift, and then the calc. Yeah. So it will ask you kung ano yung value ng x na kailangan natin. So, the value of x is 1, So meron siyang parang pre-stored value of x, So basically, mag-store siya ng value sa variable x natin. So we have the variable x here. So let's input yung kailangan natin value. For example, I press 1. Yan. And then now, the major difference with the ES and the class width model is that if we press equals, it will not immediately magbibigay sa inyo ng tamang sagot. But instead, it will store muna yung value ng initial value natin doon sa variable x natin. So you need to remember that, because baka mabigla kayo bakit hindi lumalabas yung sagot, It's just that if you press equals, mag-store muna siya sa variable x. Okay? Now, next, to be able to solve this equation, so you need again to press shift and then calc. Okay, sa ganitong state, so shift, calc. Let's calc. Okay, so it will take some seconds, and then you will see the answer to this part. Ayan. So this is the answer. So for this one. Yeah. So ganon gamitin yung shift solve natin, for the 991MS natin. Now, how so konting brief lang, So that's just a brief of how Casio calculators calculate yung roots ng equation natin. So, nagka-calculate sila using yung tinatawag na Newton Raphson formula. Yun yung Raphson procedure natin. So, pa-check na lang kung maling spelling or something. So, the Newton Raphson formula. So, graphically, this look like this. Para ba yung ano? So, if we have a function, something like that, and we need to find a root of this equation. So this is an equation na in-input nyo sa calculus. We need to find the root of this equation. So then you input a guess value, tama? So meaning you have some sort, so this is the x-axis, y-axis. You need, so nag-input ka ng initial guess mo, so this right here is your initial guess, so value of x. So you project this upward, yan. So you project upward, and then gagawa siya ng tangent line dito sa graph ng equation natin. Yan. So the tangent line, so this is your tangent line. Yan. So now, this tangent line, makikita nyo, intersects as a second point dun sa x-axis natin. So meaning, so this is the calculator's guess, no, yung next value para sa root nung, kumbaga approximation doon sa root ng equation natin. So this is the next one. Now, syempre, we continue the process again, projecting upward. We project upward, and then we draw a tangent line again, and then take the intersection with the x-axis. So this is your next, so this is your initial guess, this is your first approximation, and this is your second approximation. Yan. And then we continue this process of projecting to the graph, drawing a tangent line, intersecting with the x-axis, getting the next value, and so on and so forth, until ma-approach niya yung root ng equation natin, yung desired natin. So that's how yung kinakalculate ni Casio calculators yung root ng equation natin. Now, there are some, so isa pa lang, sasabihin ko na yung some limitations ng ganitong feature sa calculator. So it has the same limitations as that of the Newton-Raphson formula. So one thing to watch out is, for example, if we have this graph, yan. So basically, for example, we need to calculate the root of the equation square root of x equals 0. Ganyan. So basically, the root is 0. Tama? Yan. So basically, the root is 0. But, for example, you take a guess value of 5. No? So you take a guess value of 5, then project upward, draw a tangent line. Ayan, so nag-intersect siya doon. So this is your first approximation. Pero may kita nyo, wala na siyang graph doon sa kabila. Tama? Wala na siyang, hindi na siya defined sa kabilang part na yan. So pag project nyo upward niyan, hindi na makikita ni Casio, ni calculator, kung saan siya magpo-project. So it will go, so hindi niya na alam kung anong gagawin next. And so sa calculator, may kita nyo, so try natin yan. So square root of x equals 0. So shift solve, type. So may kita nyo, it's slow. So may kita nyo, pag normal na Newton-Raphson method, so matagal siya gawin. No? So actually tatapon ka talaga niyan sa kawalan, and then it will throw you an error. No? Pag normal na Newton-Raphson. No? But Casio calculators are very clever, no? In that kaya nilang ma-detect mga ganitong uri ng traps doon sa Newton-Raphson formula. And as you can see, no, so even though ganito yung case sa normal Newton-Raphson, it was able to produce a root of the equation. So in this case, x equals 0. So somehow, so nakarating siya dito sa x equals 0. So that's a very good advantage, no, na hindi lang siya basta nagre-rely dun sa simple formula, but it has some set of rules para kahit sobrang pangit ng equation, makakakuha pa rin siya ng answer. So that's a good thing for this model. Yan. So now, na-describe ko na yung procedure, no? So yung methodology niya. No? So let's have some example. No? So, first example natin, no? So we have so for example, yan. So this, halimbawa, meron tayong sa mga irrigation, for example. So sa mga irrigation or sa mga canals, di ba? So meron tayong mga canals, no? So para ma-transport ng tubig, no? Putikulan, mga tubig pang irrigation, no? So for example, meron tayong trapezoidal na meron tayong trapezoidal na channel, no? So ang angle, for example, 60 degrees left and right. Ayan. So ito yung cross-section ng channel natin. And this is water. So buong water yun. So ang base width ay 4 meters. Ayan. So tinatanong dito, halimbawa, yan. So meron tayong height dito. So halimbawa, itong channel na to, nagdi-discharge siya na 5 cubic meters per second na tubig. So ano ba ito? So describe natin isa-isa yan. No? So we have the base width, no? So yung base width ng channel natin. So we have the side slope, no? So and then we have yung Q, which is the discharge, no? Meaning kung gaano karaming tubig yung kaya niyang dalhin per second. Yun yung meaning ng discharge natin. So it is in cubic meters per second. And now, the question is, what is H? No? What is the critical height, critical depth yung tinatawag. So H. So what is the critical depth of this channel? So by critical depth, meaning critical depth, no? So actually medyo advanced tong topic na to, no? Pero to describe it simply, no? So by critical, ibig sabihin the lowest energy or the optimum energy possible, no? Para ma-transport niya tong ganito karaming tubig, no? Along this channel. So this is called the critical depth natin. So sa civil engineering, no, so we calculate it using the formula A cubed over B equals Q squared over G. So this is our formula for this. So where B is the base width, of course, no, and A is the total area of flow natin dito. So meaning yung A natin is the area of this trapezoid, yung area of the trapezoid natin, no. So A cubed, B is the base width. So ito yun. Base width natin is 4 meters dito. So Q squared, so Q is the discharge, nabanggit ko na kanina. And G again is the acceleration of free fall. So around 9.81. Okay. So now let's calculate. So let's set up the equation. So A, para ba A? So A is, matatandaan natin, it's 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. Okay? So in this figure, so project natin pataas to. So na-check natin pataas yan. So we have height H, okay? And then this is this one, 60 degrees to, tama? So by parallel, so by alternating angles. So this is 60 degrees. So if this is H, then by trigonometry, no, tandaan nyo. So tangent 60 degrees is opposite over adjacent. Tama? So this is H over tangent 60 degrees. Okay? So the same with this one. So this is also H over tangent 60 degrees. And this is 4 meters, same sa baba. So therefore, yung base 2 natin is H over tangent 60 plus H over tangent 60, then plus 4 meters. So put natin dito. So 1/2, base 1 is 4, base 2 is 4 plus 2H over tangent 60 degrees times the height H. So simplify natin, no? So para mas madaling tignan. So this is 4H, tama, 8 divided to 4H plus H squared over tangent 60. So pasok natin sa formula. Dito. So A cubed, so we have 4H plus H squared over tangent 60 degrees cube over B. No? B is the top width. No? So the top width is 4 plus, so 4 plus dalawang H over tangent 60 degrees, okay, equals q, which is 5, so 5 squared divided by, so this is the equation that we will need to solve. Let's input it into the calculator. Okay. Now this illustrates, no, diba? So makita nyo, we have a fraction in top on the fraction and a fraction at the bottom of the fraction. No? So this illustrates, no, ano yung paggamit ng tamang symbols, no, para sa singular display. So 4, so that is x plus x squared divided by tangent 60, okay, then cube, so shift x squared to cube divided by 4 plus 2 x over tangent 60, so equals, so again alpha equals, so 5 squared divided by constant 35, so g. So let's shift solve. So x, sabihin natin, so yan, so sabihin natin 4 meters siya, no? So actually any value will do as long as defined yung equation natin. So tandaan nyo, so pag hindi defined yung equation natin doon, no, so problema yung calculator natin pag solve. So let's take 4, press equals, and then shift calc. So let's wait for some seconds, no? Yan, so medyo complex side here. Ito yung equation natin. So it was able to get critical height, no? So critical height is 0.5281 meters. This is your H. So critical height 0.5281 meters. So this is the correct answer for the critical depth natin. So nakita nyo, no? So kung gaano kabilis yung pagsosolve niya ng equations natin. So now, on to the next topic natin. So eto, so may kita ninyo. So eto pag ganito, so kaya siyang i-calculate using equations, no? Pero mapapansin nyo, isa lang yung ibabato niya na root ng equation. So that's reasonable, no? Based on sa principles natin ng Newton-Raphson, no? So it just so the tangent lines, no, yung intersection niya, just approach one root, no? So therefore, to be able to solve all roots of the equation, no, you need, of course, di ba, for example, tatlo yung kailangan roots, you need 3 guess values, no? Actually, hindi lang yung tatlo, no? So kailangan mo pang mag-guess until makuha mo lahat ng tatlong roots of the equation. So which is matagal siya, no? When it comes to quadratic or cubic equations, for example. So that's why Casio has special features, no, for solving quadratic and cubic equations. So balik ulit tayo dito. So we have mode, no? We can use mode, no? So mode, so we can press mode and then press left and right, press equals, press mode. So press mode tayo. So press mode. Okay. So you can see there are a lot of options we can do, and for over the course of the next videos, no, so we can explore this one by one. So for now, we'll use the equation, no? So this is equation AQN equation. So 1. Now on the first part, tatanungin kanya kung ilang unknowns, no? So pag ilang unknowns, ibig sabihin, it is a system of linear equations. So mamaya na yan, we'll press the right, and then sa kabila, tatanungin ka naman niya kung anong degree. So meaning, anong degree ng equation? Is it 2, which is quadratic, or 3, which is a cubic equation? So yun yung purpose nito. So let's show it with an example, no? So for example, meron kang sample lang. So x cubed plus 6x squared plus 11x plus 6 equals 0, no? So let's solve this equation for all the roots of this equation. So again, press mode. So mode, punta tayo sa equation, no? So, which is 1. So, hindi pa natin kailangan yan. Let's use the degree. Ayan, so degree. So, degree is 2 or degree is 3. Because this is a cubic equation, okay, we use the degree 3 for this one. So, it will now ask you the parameters of this equation. So, basically, if you choose degree of 3, so the equation is of the form ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d equals 0. So, this is the cubic equation, and the calculator will ask you these values, no? The value of a, the value of b, the value of c, the value of d, no? In the case of quadratic, no, you press degree 2, so we have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And then it will ask you ano yung values ng a, b, tsaka c. So, yun lang yung tatandaan ninyo, no? So, for this example, no, because cubic siya, no, so ito yung gagawin nating form. So, comparing coefficients, so we see the value of a is 1, no? So, x cubed, so 1 equals, so the value of b is 6, so let's press 6 equals, the value of c is 11, so let's press 11 equals, then 6, so let's press 6 equals. It will give you yung 3 values ng roots na to. Okay? So, negative 1, negative 3, and negative 2. So, x1, negative 1, x2, negative 3, x3, negative 2. Yan, no? So, well, this is all in good, no? So, these are the roots of the equation given by this. So, ayan. So, this is all in good, no? Madali lang siyang interpret kasi makikita ninyo, this is real roots. So, paano pag, for example, hindi real roots yung equation natin? So, for example, we have yung basic quadratic equation natin na x squared plus x plus 1 equals 0. So, let's input that. So, punta tayo sa mode, then equation. So, press mode ulit hanggang makapunta ka sa EQN. So, degree is 2. So, let's input A. So, 1, B is 1, C is 1. So ito na yung nakikita natin ngayon. So, the roots basically are, so kung i-quadratic formula niya to, no? So, x is negative b plus or minus b squared. So, 1 squared minus 4ac. So, 4 minus 1 plus 1 over 2a. So, we have negative 1 half. Tama. Plus or minus square root of 3 over 2i. So, these are the roots of this quadratic equation. How Casio fx-991MS displays it, no? So, this, yung una nyo makikita is the real part of the equation. So, basically, negative 1 half. Tama tayo dyan. And then, if we press equals dito, so, real part pa rin yung makikita natin. So, what's happening? Nasaan yung imaginary part? So, unlike, di ba, sa fx, na mga es and the plus ways, kita mo pati yung imaginary part nung solutions natin. Pero dito hindi. So, paano natin, sir, makikita kung yung imaginary part nitong mga solutions na to? Again, so, we have the symbol here, no? So, makikita nyo. So, R, then, may symbol sa taas, no? May labas na symbol sa taas na R, I. So, meaning, to be able to see, no? So, para makita natin yung imaginary part ng particular solution na yun, we have to switch from the real part to the imaginary part display natin. And this can be done using this symbol, using this equal sign natin. So, we have re, di ba? We have this option dito, re, and then in. So, ito. So, tatandaan nyo to, no? So, to be able to see the imaginary part, so, meron tayong re, tsaka in, no? Sa taas ng equal sign natin. So, we have to shift. So, shift, and then press equals. So, you can see now this. So, this now the display. So, plus 0.8 something something. And then, meron siyang subscript na I dito sa baba. So, which means this is the imaginary part of the solution natin. So again, to display the real part, so same lang din, shift equals, so this is the real part of the solution, and then shift equals, this is the imaginary part of the solution natin. So that's how we display yung entire solution natin dito. And for the second one, so press equals, so negative 0.5, we press shift equals, so this is the imaginary part, naka-negative siya dito, no? So tama naman. So again, shift equals real part. Makuha natin. So I hope nasundan nyo yung concept na yun, no? So to shift from the real part to the imaginary part, always remember shift equals. Yan ang itatandaan. Shift equals. Yan. So that's it, no? So that's it for solving yung single variable equations natin. Now on to the last topic, no? So let's solve yung cubic equations, ay yung systems of linear equations. So let's have our second example, no? So real life example natin. So for example, we have two persons ulit. Yes, we have two persons ulit. Sabihin natin si Paulo, yan, tsaka si Benjamin. Dalawa. So these two people, no, so magkasama daw silang gumagawa ng kanta. So they are working together for a single song, no? And working together, no, so they can do it in 4 days. 4 days. Okay? And then so one time, no, so gumawa daw sila ng kanta, no? And they work together for 1 day. No? So together sila 1 day. Pero itong si Paulo, since may prior commitment siya sa ibang bansa, so umalis siya, no? So may gig daw siya sa ibang bansa or something. So umalis siya, no? So which leaves Benjamin to work alone doon sa kantang yun. So he was able to work for that song in 9 days. In 9 more days. So 9 more days. So the question, ang tanong natin is gaano sila katagal gumawa ng kanta if they work alone. So meaning, diba, si Paulo nang gumawa ng kanta, gaano niya katagal magagawa? Kung si Benjamin nang gumawa ng buong kanta, gaano niya katagal magagawa yan. So that's the problem. So let's now solve using again the powers of this model. Yeah. So let's set up the equation, no? So pag ganitong, so these are called work problems, no? So pag ganitong work problems, no, it is best to write it in table form. So doon ako mas sanay. So kasi mas organized yung tignan. So we have Paulo, Benjamin, then yung total. Okay. So 2 pieces tayo dyan. So we have first scenario and the second scenario. So first scenario, sabi daw, they worked for 4 days together and they were able to finish the song. Now let the rate, no? So we have the rate, no? The rate at which Paulo can do the job alone, no? So ibig sabihin ng rate, halimbawa, if kaya mo siyang tapusin, halimbawa, kaya ko tapusin in 5 hours yung gawa ko, in 1 hour, gano'ng karaming magagawa ko. So that's the meaning of rate. So for example, for Paulo, if kaya niyang gawin in P hours, no? In P hours yung isang load, no? Then in 1 hour, kaya niyang tapusin yung 1/P. So bakit? So if kaya niyang tapusin yung 1/P ng work in 1 hour, and then he works it for P hours, tama? So 1/P times P will get 1. So which the whole entire work of total natin. So this is the rate. So this is the rate of work ni Paulo. So which is 1/P, no? Similarly for Benjamin, no? So 1/P to. Similarly for Benjamin, so it is 1/P. So now for Paulo and Benjamin, they work for 4 days. So meaning, so this is the rate, 1/P. So times mo ng number of hours, So 4 days. Then for Benjamin, 1 over B times 4 days. So which in total, so pag pinag-add mo daw yan, and then in-equate mo, so makakuha ka daw ng, matatapos daw nila yung isang buong load of work natin equals 1. Yeah, okay? Then, second scenario, so sabi daw, nag-work si Paolo and Benjamin for 1 day together. No? So, 1 day, okay? And then for some reason, umalis si Paolo, no? And then Benjamin has to work for additional 9 days. So si Paolo umalis, 0, wala na siya naitulong. Si Benjamin tumuloy pa, plus 9 days. Okay? Then same rate pa rin, of course. So 1 over B equals, again, pag add nyo, equate nyo, you get the total work equals 1. So these are the two equations na kailangan natin gawin. Now, for simplicity, let's let 1 over P be X pagdating sa input natin sa calculator. Let 1 over P be equals Y. Ayan. So, tandaan nyo na yan. So now, paano ba natin isosolve ito? No? So basically, this is a system of two linear equations in two variables natin. To be able to solve this one, so pupunta tayo sa mode. Again, so pupunta tayo sa mode. Then, mode equation. Then, unknowns. So ito na yung kailangan natin dito. So we have the unknowns. How many unknowns do we need? 2. So basically, X and Y. That's 2. So, and we'll ask you for the parameters like this one. So ano bang format natin dyan? So the format for two equations is A1x plus B1y equals C1. So the subscript 1 denoting the first equation. Input ninyo. A2x plus B2y equals C2. So subscript 2 denoting the second equation na input natin. No? So A1, ano ba yung A1 natin? The first equation, ang coefficient ni x ay 4. So let's input 4. B1, so ang coefficient ay 4. So y, so 4. C1, 1. A2, so ito yon, no? So 1 plus 0. B2, so 1 plus 9. Okay. C2, so 1. Then press equals. So basically, so nakapag-solve tayo ng equation. So lumabas ay x is 0.1666 something. And then y equals plus equals 0.0833 something. Now this is not helpful. So although of course, no, by default the calculator will display the answers in decimals, no, but sometimes it's not helpful. So we need to convert decimals to fractions. No? Okay, actually, yung ganun natin sa tinitignan. So because fractions are easier to see, of course, maganda tignan siya. At saka, mas marami tayong properties na makukuha with fractions because they are exact. Okay? So, paano natin i-convert, no, these decimals into fractions? So, to convert it, no, so may kita kayo dyan dito. No? So, we have the symbol right here, no? The keypad, no? Meron tayong keypad dyan na A, B over C. Or sa taas, meron sa taas yan B. So, this one converts decimals to fractions and vice versa. No? So, if you press this, converted na siya to fractions. Kita nyo? Yeah. So, again, press ulit, magiging decimal. Press ulit, magiging fraction. So, the format is 1, 6, where this symbol denotes fraction. Kumbaga, ito yung vinculum. Ito yung vinculum dun sa naka-natural display na fraction natin. So, this is 1 over 6. Ibig sabihin. And for the second one, okay, if you press yung A, B over C, so the display becomes 1 over 12. So 1 over 6 and 1 over 12. And we see, so, and we can see that the answers, that the fraction forms are exact. Okay? So, ito, mag-stick tayo dito sa formula. Now, having converted this to a fraction, let's now solve yung rates, no? Yung times ng dalawa. So, x, before, this is 1 over p. So, 1 over p is equal to 1 over 6. So, therefore, Paolo can do it in 6 days. Paolo can do it in 6 days working alone. Tama? And y is 1 over b. Tama? And 1 over b is equal to 1 over 12. So therefore, Benjamin can do it in 12 days. Working alone, 12 days. And these are the answers for this example. And this shows how to solve, no? How to solve systems equations using yung equation mode natin dito sa 991MS. Okay? So, may napulot ba kayong something from this video, no? So, tell us in the comments, no? So that we know kung ano yung mga natutunan nyo na for this video. So, for next video natin, so we'll discuss yung two most important operations sa calculus natin, which is the derivatives and the integrals. So, himay-himayin natin paano ba kinakalculate ni Casio yung derivatives and integrals, no? And then apply it to certain examples. So, again, this is Engineer Jaydee, and thank you sa panonood nito. So, I'll see you on the next video, and